Hello and good evening. Welcome to Straight Talk with Arun Kumar, where everything is on the table, nothing is off limits. Anything and everything under the sun would be discussed. Topics ranging from politics, economy, people's pulse, public mood, NRI associations, non-profit organizations, you name it, we have it covered. Today's topic is about Indian American youth in USA. Second generation Indians, or I should say the first generation Indian Americans in USA. What do they feel? What do they go through? What are their career aspirations? Let's talk about all of these things today. We have about 3 Indian American youth as guests in my show. Let's talk to them and let's hear from in their own very own words. We have Jay Amin. Hey Jay.
Hi.
Welcome to the show. We have Ashika Jalagam. Hi.
Hi.
We have Dennis Cherian.
Hi, I'm glad to be here.
Okay, let's start with you, Dennis. How does it feel at a very high level, right? How does it feel to be an Indian American in USA? Because I know when I came here for the first time, I used to wonder, my color of my skin is brown. It's neither white nor black. So I used to wonder, I used to feel weird. So is that the same things you go through in your life too, or pretty much? Or?
Well, my father sometimes jokes around. He says I'm a coconut, brown on the outside, but white on the inside.
Oh, that's good.
I think, it's good. You feel a certain pride for the culture your parents left behind. India accomplished many, many things. We came up with numbers. We came up with so many of the first cities. So it's something you can look back at with pride. But at the same time, I know that I'm an American first, and then an Indian. So it feels good being an Indian, but feels better being an American.
Cool. Ashika, do you have the coconut feeling too? Or?
I feel like sometimes, as an Indian, we value our culture a lot. So in that aspects, I feel like the outside of the coconut. But like once we step inside the school and we, for example, like the concept of Christmas, like we've all adapted to that. So I guess that's the white inside part of me.
Right.
I think the coconut concept really just kind of shows that
I think this whole coconut concept is going to be a big hit after this show.
We just get the access and the opportunity for the best of both worlds here. Yeah.
Mm.
Do you ever feel confused or sandwiched between the two cultures?
Sometimes, I don't know, I'll step outside and it's all American, and when I get inside, it's all Indian. So sometimes it's one huge mess, but I'm happy to be exposed to both.
How about you? Are you ever confused or?
I think the cultures actually complement each other in a lot of ways. So I think although we want to stick to our Indian roots and our newly adapted American roots, in some ways, both of them actually make like a perfect, like beautiful mix together.
What about you?
Yeah, I think, luckily cultures aren't like political parties or political affiliations. You can't be part of the BJP and the Congress Party, or Republican and Democrat, but you can be both Indian and American. So there's a beauty in that. So you can pick the best parts of Indian culture, the discipline, the family values, and you can pick the best part of the American culture, which is the ingenuity. And you can mix them together. So if you want to keep your head on straight, you want to keep from being confused, I just pick the parts I like.
Look at this guy. He's talking about my favorite topic, politics. He speaks BJP. He uses the words Congress. Oh my God.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but let's introduce yourself first. Where do you go to school? And
my name is Dennis Cherian. I'm a 12th grader at East Brunswick High School. I'm very involved in politics here in New Jersey. I'm the past chairman of the New Jersey Teenage Republicans, and I'm very excited to be here.
Great, great.
Hi, my name is Ashika Jalagam, and I'm an 11th grader at East Brunswick High School. I'm also very, very passionate about politics. I do congressional debate in my free time, and I'm also interning for the Democratic Party, and I'm really excited to be here.
Ooh, we got all politicians here.
Hi, I'm Jay. I'm a junior at East Brunswick High School, and I'm the current state chairman of the New Jersey Teenage Republicans. We're the student wing of the Republican Party.
We should have done this before. Sorry, we got the order messed up a little bit with this whole coconut analogy. So, how is it with Indian parents at home? I know you guys, the same coconut analogy, you have to be
right.
American outside, then you come home, Indian, does not.
Yeah, it can be funny sometimes. You go to school and you talk to all your friends and they'll be telling you something like, oh, I'm going to ask this girl to prom, I'm going to ask this girl to prom, that guy. And then you come home and you tell your parents, hey, I want to ask a girl to prom. And the face that they give you, what? What are you talking about?
Dating?
You have to get married.
Oh my God, yeah.
So it's kind of hard to explain that concept sometimes. So a few things don't carry over. But for the most part, if they had the courage to come to this country, then they're open-minded enough to accept those other parts of you.
Yeah, you would think so.
I mean, with my parents, I know they're strict with me, especially when they don't see me working as hard, because they came from India, they worked their way all the way up here, and they're very, very proud of their achievements. So like when they don't see me working as hard as they did, they really, really want me to work hard. And I mean, of course, that can be frustrating at times, but I get that they want me to be the best person that I can.
Yeah. What about
Yeah,
you?
you know, I could totally relate to her. Like your parents set these expectations, but I think that's just going to reflect on good character in the future.
Do you ever visit India?
Yeah, I visited a couple of times in the summer. Well, you know, when I was younger, all I could think of is hot. You know, it's hot. There's animals everywhere.
Right.
But as I got older, I began to see the beauty in it. You know, it's a country that hundreds of years ago, you know, India was the greatest nation on the earth in terms of power and wealth. We had a quarter of the world's GDP.
Right.
What the United States is to the world today, India was.
Right.
And now finally it's coming back. It's growing. The young people are learning. They're learning English. They're learning programming. So it's an amazing thing. So when I go back now, it's not just you know, the animals and the farmland.
Right.
I can see the growth happening.
What part of India are your parents from?
They're from Kerala.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
Okay.
right in the southern tip.
Yeah, the most literate state in the entire country.
Yeah, most literate. They call it God's own country.
God's
you know,
own country.
Green,
correct.
beautiful,
Yep,
lush.
Yep, yep. What about you? Do you have to fight that battle too?
Definitely. I mean, my parents really want me to be disciplined like all the time. I went to India a few times in the past, and I really respect the history of the country, and I think they're making a lot of progress, so I'm really excited to see the impacts in the future.
How often do you go to India?
I think the last time I went was the summer before 9th grade, but we try to visit every 2 years or so.
Okay, fairly often. What about you, Jay? What part of India are your parents from?
It's actually kind of confusing. My mom is from Chennai, but my dad is from Andhra Pradesh.
Oh, okay.
So like I understand both Telugu and Tamil.
Oh, girl, multilingual.
Yeah.
What about you?
Well, you know, I keep hearing about how beautiful India is, but unfortunately, I haven't visited yet. Yeah.
No? What part of India is your dad from?
Oh, we're all from Gujarat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So, why is it that it's only many Indians who win the spelling bee? It always boggles my mind all the time. I mean, why is it mostly Indians?
You know, I think that when immigrants come here, just
And it's
to
an American spelling bee, by the
Right,
way.
right.
That's a Scripps, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
American spelling bee, just to make it
Yeah.
clear.
Well, when immigrants come to this country, they can appreciate it in a way that the people who live here can't, right? Because they see
Oh,
the
I
beauty
see.
of it. When Indians come to this country, they can also appreciate the beauty of the language.
Right, right.
You know, so I think in that push to learn the language well, we ended up embracing it a lot. So that's why we always win.
What do you think?
I mean, I think it's definitely the parents first, like pushing kids to try out these new opportunities. Like from my own experience, after my parents push me to do something, I find interest and passion within that activity. And you need passion to be successful at something. You know, there's a stereotype that Indians, all they do is just study, 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 but the studying's taking them somewhere, so I guess it's a good thing for them.
Which is kind of true. That stereotype is kind of true in some aspects, because I do not see a lot of Indians. They win spelling bees and they get great, perfect SAT scores and all that. I don't see a lot of them in sports. I don't see a lot of them in baseball. I don't see anyone in basketball, no NBA, no hockey. Why is that so?
I mean,
From your personal experience, I mean, there's no right or wrong answer. Is that true? Don't you think that's true?
I think it's relatively true. I mean, even in our school, as diverse as it is, on the baseball team, I think there's only one Indian person. I think from a young age, we've been taught work hard, study hard, but not play hard.
Play hard. So do parents discourage kids from entering the American sports?
Not at all. I mean, I guess it's just about interest. Like in India, cricket is very, very big,
Right.
but you know, cricket isn't as big as in the United States. So Indian parents are always about opportunity. So I guess when they see their kids wanting to do something, they're more than willing to support them, but they need to get the interest to participate in those activities in the first place.
What do you think, Jay? Why do Indians win spelling bees all the time?
I mean, I'd have to agree with like Ashika and Dennis here. Like, I think it's the parents' expectations that kind of drive the kids to succeed themselves, and I think this is just a result of all the hard work they put in. and it's really going to show how successful the Indian community will be in the future.
What sports are you interested in?
Well, I used to do track and cross country. Not anymore though. Now I'm really just involved in politics.
What sports are you interested in?
I used to play basketball until 9th grade, and now I'm the captain of my varsity golf team.
What about you?
Oh, this body was never built for sports.
see,
It's too fragile.
No, I don't take that.
Politics, modeling, you never know.
Oh, wow, okay.
That's sports.
Yeah, but see, the stereotype is proven to be true. In this case, I didn't even know your sport preferences, and none of you guys are in baseball. There's nothing wrong with it. There's none of you guys in baseball or basketball or hockey or any of the American sports. So I think it's just the culture. Cultural. Do you think the cultural impact? Not getting to sport.
Yeah, I think if your father's always watching cricket, then maybe he's not so excited to take you to a soccer game.
Soccer game.
Yeah.
No, but soccer. Many Indians get them into soccer.
Yeah, soccer.
Yeah, soccer they do.
Popular.
Yeah, it's not so much as baseball and basketball. What language do you guys speak at home?
I used to speak Malayalam at home. Unfortunately, I forgot that.
Right.
I can still understand it, but I don't speak it. So now it's completely English.
Parents?
Parents English too.
English, really?
Yeah, they try to.
Oh, you
hold on to
molded
it.
them too?
Yeah, every maybe 6 months, we'll have a conversation. Oh, we're going to start speaking Malayalam in the house so that the kids will remember.
Right.
And then they forget. So I think they're going to forget Malayalam too.
Or when they get mad at you, they speak in Malayalam, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they vent their frustration better that way.
That's true.
What do you think?
My house is actually kind of weird because my dad speaks Telugu and my mom speaks Tamil.
Okay.
So like when my parents are say like having like a little argument or something, it's like a clash of the languages, like English, Tamil, Telugu. It's like kind of a really big confusion. But I mean, I understand everything, so it's okay.
About you?
Yeah, just like Dennis, we used to speak Gujarati and then I just started forgetting it. Yeah.
Is it true that when parents get mad, they tend to be overproductive in terms of venting out the frustration in their mother tongue? Is that true?
Oh yeah, you learn the curse words. Those you remember. Curse words. Everything else you forget.
What do you like about America? I mean, the reason why I asked this question is because you see both, right? You see both Indian kids and kids here in America, Indian kids in America. What differences do you see?
Well, people like to point to the school system and say, well, America is 40th in science, 50th in math, but one thing they never take into account is creativity. You can't measure that, but American students have that in spades. Americans, we built the Panama Canal, came up with the Constitution. These are things that no other country could do.
Right.
It's just America.
Yep, Panama Canal, that's a great example.
I think a really great thing about America is the opportunity. Like if you want to go and chase your dreams, of course there's going to be people in the way, but the people here, they have such pride and willpower within themselves that regardless of the obstacles, they're just willing to go out and chase their dreams. And even though people are in the way, they just ignore them.
What do you think, Jay?
I think the greatest part about America is the food.
This guy, the food.
There's got to be a McDonald's like every other mile away from each other. If you're ever hungry, you just go outside.
But I don't think that's healthy, is it?
No.
Then how is it the greatest thing?
Well, when you look at other countries, what the American people have to realize is that we're blessed. We're given the opportunity to go outside and go eat wherever we want. We're supported by the government. They're not corrupt.
The freedom, the opportunities, everything.
Yeah, actually, there's an interesting story. I think it was Hoover, one of the presidents about 100 years ago. He liked to drive really fast. So he was driving really fast down a street one day, and a police officer stopped him. And Hoover said, "I'm the president." Police officer said, "I don't care, I'm giving you a ticket."
Wow.
What other country on earth can a police officer be confident enough to give a ticket to the president? Nowhere.
Yeah, that I agree. I myself have lived in like 5 countries, and as much as I love my own country, India, but there's nothing like America. America is the best country. Sometimes people do not realize, how much blessed they are to be in this wonderful country, great country. What do you think? What's great about this country? Oh, you answered the question already, right? Yeah, okay. So, how is it different being an Indian kid versus, being a Chinese American or a Korean American? How do you see the difference?
Well, I think there's an emphasis on certain values when you're an Indian kid. So, things like taking care of your parents and your grandparents financially, that's really ingrained in the culture. Or studying very, very hard. That's also ingrained in the culture, unfortunately.
That's common to all Asians, I think, right?
Yeah,
Don't you think?
all Asians. That's true, all Asians. And I think part of that is because our parents grew up without so many opportunities. So if life is like a race, then we're starting ahead of all the other kids now, whereas they started behind the other kids. So I think that's unique about growing up as an Indian as opposed to a Chinese American or a Filipino American.
What do you think?
I think actually a positive is that the culture here is we get exposed to so many different cultures. I mean, in my town in particular, we have something known as ICS, the Indian Cultural Society, and not only are Indians involved, but like people of other races are involved too. Like there's a lot of Americans who are taking a lot of initiative and interest in the organization, attending the shows and the festivals and everything like that. So I think right now, Indian culture is becoming very, very widespread in America, and a lot of people are taking great interest in it.
What do you think, Jay? How do you feel?
Well,
What's different being an Indian American kid versus
Wait, what's the difference between an Indian and like a normal?
Indian American kid versus a Korean or a Filipino?
Well, I think we all have the same values. Like it could be religion, taking care of parents, studying, and all that. But I think it really depends on your community as well, whether or not like how accepting they are, and like whether or not you can kind of like mix with them. Yeah.
Is it true that Indian parents are obsessed with scores
Yes.
and grades and competitive exams? And is it true? That's okay. I mean,
Yeah.
I know your parents are watching, but that's fine.
Well, if from my experience, yes, it matters.
Yeah. So what do you think? Is it a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it's a bad thing. Like some of these
Well,
classes.
getting a perfect SAT is a good thing.
Yeah, but if you get like 50 points below or something, it's the end
Yeah,
of the world.
you're gonna learn some more of those curse words in
Yeah.
Hindi.
What do you think? Is there a lot of pressure from your parents when it comes to like especially exams and?
Yeah, it is definitely pressure. I also have an older brother who's like very smart. So like there's a lot of comparison there sometimes that I don't always enjoy.
Yeah.
But I mean, my parents push me to work hard, and although I don't like it all the time, I have to do what I have to do.
They subconsciously do that, right? Indians, they just try to compare the siblings. I know they have good intentions at heart. I don't doubt the intentions, but somehow they always compare.
Right.
Used to be
Yeah.
the case with me too. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's good. It's a push to be number one. And it's something that carries over generation after generation after generation. So at some point, somebody's going to be number one, right?
Yeah.
After enough pushing. So I think it's a good thing in the end.
But the Indian system is all binary. Either you're number one or you're nothing.
Yeah.
That's true, unfortunately.
Right?
Yeah. Well, I think it's changing, especially growing up here. When we raise our kids, it's going to be a little bit different. We're going to adopt certain American things and bring in certain individual discipline as well. So it should get a little easier.
Right. Did you, Jay, notice, I know your parents are first generation, did you notice any challenges they had to go through as a kid or as their
Growing up in America.
offsprings? Yeah. Did you notice anything?
Like, I don't know, some stories that my dad and mom used to tell me, like, they felt left out of the, like,
Yeah.
like Indian community took them in, with full arms and everything, but the American community kind of, like, they kind of separated themselves, and it was hard to, like, integrate.
We look different.
Yeah, but now, in my generation, it's a lot easier
Yeah.
for us to just
What do you think?
Had to make
Did they
American
face
friends.
any?
Like in terms of the workplace, both of my parents are computer engineers, and there was a big stereotype then, it's not really as existent now, that all Indians can do is work on a computer, like type away, or like do something related to math.
Yeah.
But like I feel like now, especially kids who are born and brought up in America, they're reaching out to like all different types of professions, like politics, law, business.
Right.
So I think the stereotype is slowly fading away.
Yeah, I see a lot of lawyers too.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah. My father was a lawyer in India, actually, and then he came here. There are some barriers to overcome. I'll tell you a funny story. I remember one day he actually, this is when I was very, very young, but he went to order some food at a drive-thru, and he told them, I want 3 hamburgers. The guy said, sure. He goes to pick it up, and he has like 10 apple slices. He said one thing, they heard another thing.
God.
So it's, sometimes there are some challenges, sometimes funny, sometimes not so much. But in the end, I think...
But Apple is not even close to perfect.
Not even close,
Oh,
yeah.
man.
But,
Your dad did a bad job in ordering.
Yeah, no, over time though,
Right.
these things, the immigrants learn, and these things get better over time. I think as the community grows larger and stronger and finds its voice, there's going to be less and less discrimination, less and less issues.
Definitely.
Yeah, I want the viewers to know that it's not just like Ashika said, the stereotypical myth about Indians, that Indians are good only at computers and math and science. But a lot of Indians are getting into politics. A lot of Indians are getting into law and several other fields, which which were not expected. Would you guys agree?
Yeah, like even all of us are really, really passionate about politics. So, I mean, hopefully in the future, like we have a career in that. But it's definitely like straying away from the common stereotypical Indian.
On that note, what party do you personally support, or do you not wish to divulge? Do you support any political party?
Oh yeah, I'm a Democrat, very passionate Democrat. Right now, I'm actually interning underneath the Democratic Party for a governor in New Jersey, and I'm really
wow. Look at these guys. What about you, Jay? Are you?
I'm heavily involved in the Republican Party, right?
Very nice mix.
Right now, I'm the state chairman for the Teenage Republicans. And I have an internship with our Lieutenant Governor Kim Godano this summer.
What about you, Dennis?
Same as Jay.
Right.
I'm well, now I'm retired from the Teenage Republicans, so I have my gray hair. I golf sometimes.
Retire?
I'm retired.
How old are you?
Well, 18, but I'm retired. But I'm still involved in the party pretty heavily, and I think it's great. I interned for Senator Sam Thompson last summer. And that taught me so much. So, whichever party we are, I think that both parties are going to see a lot of Indians.
That brings up, I think we should do a show specifically on from a political standpoint, right? Political
Absolutely.
views. I mean, that sounds exciting, right? That's great. That's great because not many channels do a show on second generation Indians' political views. It's mostly the first generation Indians. So, okay. So you're into Republican, you said, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So on a different note, did you guys, when growing up, ever come across any discrimination or racism? Or I know that's always pretty much a hot topic. But
Well, I've been very lucky. I think I've lived in Dallas, Austin, Philadelphia, and finally Central New Jersey.
All the metro areas.
All over the place. But I've met so many different people, and honestly, they've all been so kind to me. I'm sure that discrimination happens, but you take 99.99% of Americans,
Correct.
and they're completely accepting.
I agree.
And that 1%, what can you do?
There's bad apples everywhere.
Yeah.
Right. What do you think? Did you face any?
No, I personally haven't faced any type of discrimination, because I think most of the discrimination in our generation right now is towards the parents. Like the kids are very, very accepting.
Right.
So I think once our generation becomes older and older, we're going to see that a lot more cultures and races are becoming integrated in the United States.
What do you think, Jay? Do you?
I keep hearing stories about kids getting bullied and stuff
Right.
for their race and all that, but I've never experienced it firsthand. I think our community is very accepting here.
Yeah, it's a lot more accepting. Like I said, there's always a very small section of people who don't fall under the good category.
Yeah, it gets
that's
played out.
everywhere. I mean, I'm sure it's in India too. It's everywhere,
Yeah.
but we can't blame the entire community or a nation for that, especially when they gave us so many opportunities to grow. So, okay. So, what do you think? Do you think what should be done to pass this Indian culture to the future generations? Are you willing to, or?
Well, I think culture is a very broad term. But there's more to culture than just movies or sports or language.
Right.
Culture is in the way you act, the way you move, the way you talk. It's something so much deeper. So yes, I'll pass down the culture, but in my own unique way. So it's a mix of American culture, Indian culture, and something else too, a little bit of me.
Something else,
Yeah.
some unknown element to it. What do you think?
I think the hard thing right now is finding the balance that we want to take, as Dennis said, between American and Indian culture, and then we take the values that we want to and pass it down into the next generation. But at the same time, like I said before, a lot more Americans are becoming very, very accepting of the Indian culture. So once Americans take initiative, once Chinese people take initiative, and everyone takes initiative together, then I think that the passage of culture and values will happen automatically.
Jay?
Yeah, I think we need to expose everyone to all types of cultures. You can't just expose them to American and Indian. You got to get them into everything. Got to get them the experience.
I know you're big time on food, huh? What's your favorite food?
American or Indian, or just?
Yeah, I mean in general.
Oh, okay. I'd say French fries or something.
French fries. What? French fries, that's not good for you, and you still look slim. What about you?
Well, for me, it's interesting. My family, we'll cook American some nights, and then we'll make some Indian food other nights. So we end up with leftovers of both. So what we do is we mix them sometimes. So you have extra.
Hodgepodge.
Yeah, chicken 65. You put it in hamburger buns and you eat it. Yeah, that's my favorite. I like that.
Yeah, American 65. What's your favorite food?
I mean, I like, in American food, I like mozzarella sticks, but like Indian food, my favorite is like a South Indian like delicacy known as rasam.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, soup. More like soup, right? What's your favorite Indian food, man? I'm gonna put you on the spot here.
I'd have to say pani puri.
Oh, now there you go. He's opening up. But you're more on the snack side, huh? Oh,
Yeah.
French fries and pani puri.
Fried stuff.
Whom would you choose as a life partner? Would that be?
Indian or American?
Yeah.
I'm eligible if anybody out there wants to help me find out. No, actually, it's too early to say. Who knows?
That's something I'm not really thinking about right now.
Well, that makes sense. You should not be thinking about
Still
those things at this age. Yes.
Graduate high school, go to college, get a job.
That was a test, actually.
Yeah.
What about this guy?
Just whoever, comes along.
Whatever comes along. Oh, I like that answer. Whatever
That's
comes
a low
along.
standard.
Yeah. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to take a break. We'll be back. Keep watching ManaTV.